In this video, we'll recount the story of a college girl who has a terrible regret about going through a hookup phase. For the sake of simplicity, let's call her Ashley. Here is her story. After being in a relationship for 2 years, my ex-boyfriend and I decided to call it quits. I'm 22 years old, and he was my only partner in my brief dating life. I've always been the girl who enjoyed being in a committed relationship. As a result, I decided to take a little hiatus from dating in order to concentrate on my final year of college. I eventually chose to sign up for Tinder, which was the most popular dating app at the time. My profile was crystal clear. I was looking for something serious, therefore I excluded people who were clearly looking for a fling or a quick hookup from consideration. Although I went on multiple dates, none of them resulted in anything. Several of my girlfriends advised me to go through a HO phase, or simply hook up with random guys before the summer began. Hot girl summer. Given that I'd only ever been with one man, they suggested that it would be a great way to explore and have fun while I'm still young, before eventually settling down with a good man later on. I agreed. I had no objections to it at all, it was simply that I couldn't see myself doing it. Due to the fact that dating was not working out for me, I decided to give it another shot. Throughout social media, I noticed a slew of posts and videos from women my age, and older, touting being independent, to sleep around and enjoy themselves without being criticized as a part of the modern women's empowerment movement. I've always believed that women's empowerment was about achieving equality between the sexes, not about sleeping with many men. As a result, I went to Reddit and searched for other people who had asked the same question. The majority of the material I read encouraged me to go for it. Most people advised me that I should do anything I wanted and not worry about being judged. Just like men, women are allowed to sleep with anyone they want. I found it to be inspiring, so I decided to give it a shot myself. So, from the summer of 2018 until the end of the following year, a period of approximately 18 months, I started my hookup phase and began to become less choosy on Tinder. I couldn't believe how simple it had been. I was always aware that 75% of the users on dating apps were men, so the odds were stacked in my favor from the start. During that period, I ended up sleeping with a large number of men. I made certain to use protection, but not always. I made it a point to be tested as well. As I reflect on it now, I can't understand why this was lauded by other women. It was simply a lot of lousy hookups, to be honest. Some of the men were manipulative, and many of them were cheating on their women. The majority of them would just ghost me the next morning. I thought this was going to be full of amazing encounters and mind-blowing fun before I even got there. I was wrong. However, I was left feeling hollow and unempowered. In fact, I felt more abused than anything else at the time. I squandered all of those evenings showering and getting ready only to meet a guy who had never spent a single dollar on me before. He didn't spend any money on me because he knew he didn't have to. I had already sent him multiple nude photos of me beforehand. It helped me get through my final semester of college and my first year of working at my full-time job by utilizing dating as a coping mechanism. Even though it was a short-term solution to alleviate my tension, it was only a temporary remedy. I eventually stopped, but not before compiling an extremely long list of partners in a relatively short amount of time, over 30 in less than 18 months. I really wanted to start dating seriously again, but the problem is that whenever the subject of my past comes up, I feel embarrassed and ashamed of myself. I'm a straightforward individual that always tells the truth. The terrible reality is that my unusually large number of partners turns them away from me. One guy told me, "I will date you, but you're not wife material." I'm beginning to believe that the entire dating and hookup phase was a mistake. After a year of it, I not only felt used and hollow, but I also felt like I was wasting my time trying to look hot for my dates who would then ghost me. "Oh, he's not worth it," is the most common piece of advice I've seen given to people dealing with similar issues. It is inappropriate for a man to be concerned about your previous relationships. However, this is not the case in reality. Many men would be delighted to go on a date with me. However, they are not going to consider me as a potential long-term partner or even a wife at this point in time. I'm sure I'd feel the same way if the guy I'm dating had a body count as high as mine. I now regret my decision to pay attention to what my friends and social media were saying about women's empowerment. I'm sure other girls have had wonderful experiences, but I'm having a terrible time. I don't believe I gained anything from the experience. I'm at a loss about how to deal with dating right now. Should I make an effort to conceal my past? Some people suggest that I inform the guy that I don't feel comfortable answering his questions, but I believe it might raise some concerns. When I look at TikTok videos, I see girls joking about and saying things like, simply divide your number of partners by 5 and he would never know the difference. What struck me about these girls was that they were posting videos on TikTok about their promiscuity and the fact that they were sleeping around a lot. Those videos will never, ever be taken down from the internet. Some man in her future is going to see it eventually. Again, these women can always find men to date, but I've found that many of them are not in relationships. When it comes to that question, I won't sugarcoat anything, so be assured that I will be honest. Everyone tells me not to worry because a wonderful guy will soon show up who doesn't care that I was essentially a slut for 18 months and will come along. Obviously, this is completely incorrect. I've been waiting for 2 years and am still single. With a high body count and no serious boyfriend on the horizon, I'm now in my mid-20s and feel hopeless. Unfortunately, as time progresses, this will become more and more commonplace as well. Because Tinder and other dating apps have only been around for a few years, there are a lot more stories like Ashley's to be told in the future. Hookup culture, sugar daddy culture, and other such practices are becoming increasingly popular. On these sites, girls are not afraid to speak about how much money they make from guys. Women are accumulating high body counts at a considerably higher rate today than they were even 20 years ago. With all of these dating apps, it's simply a lot more convenient. The fact that women are giving each other this advice is a significant contributor to the problem. Ironically, many of the ladies who are giving the advice are in their late 30s and 40s, and still single. Ashley has had a difficult couple of years, and things are not looking good right now. Still single, with a high body count and a penchant for publishing nude photos on the internet. So, what exactly is the nature of this empowerment? Ashley's biological clock will begin to tick, and with each passing year, she will face greater difficulties. How long do you think she'll be able to maintain her integrity with the men she meets? As evidence of how competitive women can be, there is this strange phenomenon where older women will refuse to give helpful advice to their younger counterparts. In a way, they're both vying for the same man's attention. So it's beyond me why a 40-year-old lady would give sound advice to a 22-year-old when they're both in the same dating pool. There are a lot of new female dating coaches and content creators on the scene now, and they're telling their followers not to go down this road. They're passing on some important feminine wisdom to these young ladies. When you're young, however, it can be difficult to pay attention. Whether you're a man or a woman, nobody pays attention because you believe that time is on your side. Ashley has positioned herself as the fun girl in her group of friends. Believe me when I say that men talk and will spread rumors about Ashley. This is something that a lot of women, and some men, don't understand about the lasting stigma associated with the hookup culture associated with social media dating applications. Date safely and wisely. Thanks for watching.